Potty training proves to be a major challenge on OutDaughtered. Busby Quints struggle. Potty training is one of those milestones that sounds simple when people talk about it casually, but anyone who has ever gone through it knows how emotionally exhausting, unpredictable, and messy it can really be. On OutDaughtered, potty training doesn't just become a developmental challenge, it turns into a full-blown family-wide struggle that tests patience, routines, and even confidence. Watching Adam and Danielle Busby navigate potty training with their Quints proves just how different real-life parenting is compared to parenting advice books. What makes it even more relatable is that nothing goes according to plan, no matter how prepared they think they are. At first, potty training feels like an exciting step forward. For Adam and Danielle, the idea of transitioning the girls out of diapers represents growth, independence, and a sense of normalcy. After years of managing bottles, schedules, and endless diaper changes, potty training seems like a hopeful sign that things might finally get a little easier. But as OutDaughtered quickly shows, hope doesn't always match reality. The Busbys discover very early on that potty training 5 toddlers at the same time is a completely different challenge than potty training one child. Each of the Quints approaches potty training in her own way, which immediately complicates the process. Some of the girls show interest right away, curious about the potty and eager to copy what they see others doing. Others resist entirely, treating the potty like an enemy instead of a helpful tool. This difference in personalities becomes one of the biggest hurdles Adam and Danielle face. They can't use a one-size-fits-all method because what works for one child simply doesn't work for another. Danielle, in particular, feels the pressure of wanting to do everything right. She reads advice, listens to other parents, and tries to follow recommended strategies, but real life constantly throws obstacles in her way. The girls have accidents. They forget. They refuse to sit. Sometimes they sit and nothing happens. Other times they have an accident just minutes after being on the potty. The cycle repeats over and over, creating frustration not only for the parents, but for the kids themselves. Adam tries to keep things lighthearted, often using humor to cope with the stress. He understands that tension only makes things worse, but even he struggles to stay patient when accidents pile up. Cleaning up mess after mess, day after day, begins to wear him down. It's not just about the physical cleanup, it's the emotional exhaustion of constantly reminding, encouraging, and redirecting 5 little humans who are still learning how their bodies work. One of the most challenging aspects of potty training on OutDaughtered is timing. The girls aren't all ready at the same time, but managing different readiness levels is nearly impossible in a household with so many young children. If one child is potty trained while the others aren't, routines become chaotic. Diapers, pull-ups, potty breaks, and accidents all overlap, making consistency incredibly hard to maintain. Adam and Danielle often find themselves questioning whether they started too early or waited too long. Accidents become a major source of stress, especially when the girls are out of the house. Public outings suddenly feel overwhelming. What should be a simple trip turns into a logistical nightmare involving spare clothes, wipes, bags, and constant vigilance. The fear of accidents in public adds pressure to everyone involved, especially Danielle, who already feels stretched thin. She worries not just about cleanliness but about embarrassment, both for the girls and for herself as a parent. The emotional toll of potty training becomes more visible as the episodes progress. Danielle begins to feel discouraged, wondering if she's failing somehow. When progress stalls, it's hard not to take it personally. Watching her struggle is one of the most relatable parts of the storyline. Many parents recognize that feeling of self-doubt, the question of whether they're doing enough or doing things the right way. OutDaughtered doesn't shy away from showing these vulnerable moments, making the experience feel authentic rather than polished. One particularly difficult issue is consistency. Potty training requires repetition and routine, but life with the Busbys is anything but predictable. Filming schedules, school routines, family obligations, and everyday chaos constantly interrupt the process. Just when the girls seem to be making progress, something disrupts the routine and sets them back. This stop-and-start pattern makes it harder for the kids to build confidence and for the parents to stay motivated. The Quints' reactions to potty training highlight their individual personalities even more. Some of them are perfectionists, becoming upset when accidents happen. Others laugh it off, completely unbothered. One child might proudly announce success, while another refuses to even acknowledge the potty. These differences create emotional highs and lows throughout the journey. Celebrating one child's success can sometimes unintentionally discourage another, adding another layer of complexity to the process. Danielle often takes on the role of emotional anchor during these moments, even when she feels overwhelmed herself. She tries to encourage the girls without shaming them, reminding them that accidents are okay and part of learning. But balancing encouragement with structure is exhausting, especially when progress feels slow. Her frustration is never about the girls, it's about the sheer weight of responsibility that comes with managing so many needs at once. Adam, meanwhile, tries to offer support in his own way, but even he admits that potty training pushes him to his limits. The constant vigilance required leaves little room for rest or relaxation. Every quiet moment feels suspicious, like an accident is just waiting to happen. The mental load becomes just as heavy as the physical one, and it's clear that potty training affects the entire household dynamic. What makes this storyline so compelling is how real it feels. There's no dramatic music or exaggerated reactions, just honest parenting moments. The Busbys don't pretend to have all the answers. They make mistakes, adjust their approach, and sometimes even laugh at the chaos because that's the only way to survive it. Their willingness to show the messy side of parenting resonates deeply with viewers who have faced similar struggles. One of the most touching aspects of the potty training journey is watching the girls slowly gain confidence. Even small victories feel huge. A successful potty trip becomes a reason to celebrate, not because it's extraordinary, but because it represents progress. These moments remind Adam and Danielle why they keep pushing through the frustration. Each success, no matter how small, is proof that the effort is worth it. However, progress isn't linear, and setbacks are inevitable. Just when it seems like things are improving, accidents return and morale dips again. This cycle tests everyone's patience, especially Danielle's. She worries about putting too much pressure on the girls while also feeling the need to move forward. The internal conflict she experiences is something many parents understand all too well. The show also highlights how potty training impacts sibling dynamics. Seeing one sister succeed can motivate another or discourage her. Comparisons happen naturally, even when parents try to avoid them. Adam and Danielle make a conscious effort to treat each child as an individual, but in a household with so many kids, it's a constant challenge. The girls' interactions during this time reflect both support and competition, adding realism to the story. Another important element is how exhaustion affects decision-making. When parents are tired, patience wears thin, and small problems feel bigger than they are. The Busbys are open about how fatigue influences their reactions, and it's clear that potty training amplifies existing stress. This honesty makes the storyline feel grounded rather than idealized. As time goes on, Adam and Danielle begin to accept that potty training won't happen on a perfect timeline. Letting go of expectations becomes a turning point. Instead of forcing progress, they focus on encouragement and consistency where possible. This shift in mindset doesn't magically solve everything, but it reduces tension and helps everyone breathe a little easier. The girls respond to this change in subtle ways. Pressure eases, confidence grows, and progress slowly becomes more consistent. It's not dramatic or immediate, but it's real. OutDaughtered captures this gradual improvement beautifully, showing that growth often happens quietly rather than in big, celebratory moments. By the time the potty training storyline begins to wind down, it's clear that the experience has changed the family. Adam and Danielle have gained a deeper understanding of their children's personalities and needs. They've learned to trust their instincts more and rely less on rigid expectations. The girls, in turn, have gained independence and confidence, even if the journey was bumpy. Potty training on OutDaughtered proves to be a problem not because the Busbys are doing anything wrong, but because parenting is inherently unpredictable. The show doesn't present potty training as a simple checklist, it presents it as an emotional journey filled with trial, error, and growth. This honesty is what makes the storyline so powerful and relatable. In the end, The potty training struggle becomes a reminder that progress doesn't always look neat or linear. It's messy, exhausting, and often frustrating, but it's also filled with small victories that matter more than they seem. Adam and Danielle's willingness to share these moments allows viewers to feel seen and understood, especially those navigating similar challenges. OutDaughtered doesn't just show a family struggling with potty training, it shows a family learning, adapting, and growing together. The problem isn't the potty itself, it's the expectations, pressure, and exhaustion that come with parenting multiple children at once. By embracing the chaos and celebrating progress in all its forms, the Busbys remind viewers that perfection isn't the goal, connection and patience are. Through every accident, setback, and success, the potty training journey on OutDaughtered highlights what parenting is really about: showing up, staying patient, and loving your kids through every stage, no matter how challenging it may be. OutDaughtered, Danielle Busby shares excruciating pain with fans. Danielle Busby has always been known to fans of OutDaughtered as the steady, strong presence holding together one of television's most hectic households. As the mother of 6 daughters, including the first all-girls set of Quintuplets in the United States, Danielle has spent years on screen managing chaos with humor, patience, and determination. Viewers have watched her juggle sleepless nights, endless school schedules, emotional moments, and the relentless pace of raising a large family in the public eye. What fans did not always see, however, was the quiet physical toll her life was taking behind the scenes. When Danielle Busby began sharing her struggles with excruciating pain, it marked a turning point not only in her personal journey, but also in how fans understood the reality behind reality television. For years, she pushed forward despite discomfort, choosing to focus on her children, her marriage, and the commitments that came with filming a hit show. Eventually, though, the pain became impossible to ignore, and Danielle made the brave decision to open up about her experience in an honest and vulnerable way. Her willingness to share wasn't about seeking sympathy. Instead, it reflected her desire to be real with the audience that had supported her family for so long. Danielle's transparency resonated deeply with fans who had followed her journey from the very beginning, from the early days of caring for newborn quintuplets to navigating adolescence with 6 daughters under one roof. The pain Danielle described was not sudden or dramatic in its onset. It crept in gradually, manifesting as persistent discomfort that interfered with her daily life. At first, like many busy parents, she brushed it off. With 6 children depending on her, slowing down felt like a luxury she couldn't afford. There were meals to cook, appointments to attend, filming schedules to keep up with, and the constant emotional presence required of a mother. Danielle did what countless parents do every day: she pushed through. As time went on, however, the pain intensified. Tasks that once seemed routine became increasingly difficult. Standing for long periods, moving around the house, and maintaining the pace required to care for her family began to take a noticeable toll. Fans started to see subtle changes in Danielle's energy on OutDaughtered. She appeared more fatigued, less animated at times, and occasionally overwhelmed in ways that went beyond the usual stress of parenting. Eventually, Danielle chose to speak directly to fans through social media, breaking her silence about what she had been dealing with physically. Her posts were heartfelt and measured, reflecting both her frustration and her resilience. She didn't exaggerate or dramatize her experience. Instead, she described the pain in a way that felt relatable to anyone who has ever struggled with an ongoing health issue while trying to maintain normalcy. For many viewers, this honesty was eye-opening. Reality television often presents a polished version of life, even when it claims to be authentic. Danielle's openness shattered that illusion. She reminded fans that behind every episode, every smiling family photo, and every lighthearted moment was a real person dealing with real challenges. The physical pain Danielle experienced also affected her emotionally. Chronic discomfort has a way of wearing down even the strongest individuals, and Danielle was no exception. She admitted feeling drained, discouraged, and at times unsure of how to move forward. These emotions were not signs of weakness, but rather reflections of the mental burden that often accompanies long-term pain. Throughout this period, Danielle continued to prioritize her family. Her daughters remained her central focus, and she worked tirelessly to ensure that their lives felt as normal and joyful as possible. Even when she wasn't feeling her best, she showed up for them, attending events, managing schedules, and offering emotional support. This commitment further endeared her to fans, who admired her determination and selflessness. Adam Busby, Danielle's husband, played a crucial role during this difficult time. Their relationship has always been a cornerstone of OutDaughtered, and Danielle's health struggles highlighted the depth of their partnership. Adam openly supported Danielle, stepping in where needed and encouraging her to seek answers rather than simply enduring the pain in silence. Their dynamic served as a reminder of the importance of teamwork in marriage, especially when one partner is struggling. As Danielle continued to share updates, fans rallied around her with messages of encouragement and understanding. Many people saw themselves reflected in her story: parents who had put their own health on the back burner, individuals dealing with pain that others couldn't see, and women balancing countless responsibilities while trying to care for themselves. Danielle's experience became a point of connection rather than isolation. What made Danielle's story particularly impactful was her refusal to present herself as a victim. She acknowledged how difficult things were, but she also emphasized her determination to find solutions and regain her quality of life. This mindset resonated with fans who admired her strength not because she never struggled, but because she faced those struggles head-on. Her openness also sparked important conversations about the pressures placed on mothers, especially those in the public eye. Danielle's life may look extraordinary, but at its core, her challenges are deeply relatable. Many women feel the expectation to keep going no matter how they feel, often neglecting their own needs in the process. By speaking out, Danielle helped normalize the idea that it's okay to pause, to seek help, and to acknowledge pain without guilt. As episodes of OutDaughtered continued to air, fans watched Danielle with a new perspective. Moments that might have once seemed routine took on deeper meaning. Her perseverance became more powerful knowing what she was enduring behind the scenes. The show, in many ways, became a testament to resilience, not just in parenting, but in facing personal adversity. Danielle's story also highlighted the importance of listening to one's body. For a long time, she had ignored warning signs, convinced that pushing through was the only option. Sharing her journey served as a reminder that strength isn't about ignoring pain, but about recognizing when something isn't right and taking steps to address it. MD. Despite the challenges she faced, Danielle remained hopeful. She expressed gratitude for her support system, her faith, and the love she received from fans. These elements provided her with comfort during difficult days and reminded her that she wasn't alone in her journey. Her willingness to be vulnerable changed the way fans related to her. She was no longer just a reality TV mom managing a large family. She became a symbol of perseverance and honesty. People admired her not because she had everything together, but because she allowed herself to be seen during a time when things felt uncertain. The impact of Danielle's openness extended beyond OutDaughtered. Her story reached individuals who may never have watched the show, but connected with her message of resilience and self-advocacy. By sharing her experience, she contributed to a broader conversation about health, balance, and the importance of prioritizing well-being even in the midst of responsibility. As time passed, Danielle continued to update fans, offering glimpses into how she was managing and what steps she was taking to improve her situation. These updates were never overly detailed or sensationalized. Instead, they reflected her desire to keep fans informed while maintaining boundaries around her personal life. Throughout it all, Danielle remained committed to her role as a mother and a public figure. She didn't retreat from the spotlight entirely, nor did she allow her struggles to define her identity. Instead, she integrated her experience into her story, showing that life's challenges don't erase joy, love, or purpose. For fans of OutDaughtered, Danielle Busby's decision to share her pain added depth and authenticity to a show they already loved. It reinforced the idea that reality television can be meaningful when it reflects real experiences rather than curated perfection. Danielle's honesty transformed moments of vulnerability into sources of strength, both for herself and for those who followed her journey. Her story serves as a reminder that even those who appear to handle everything with ease may be carrying unseen burdens. Danielle's courage in speaking out encouraged others to acknowledge their own struggles and seek support without shame. In the end, Danielle Busby's experience wasn't just about pain, it was about resilience, honesty, and the power of sharing one's truth. By opening up to fans, she turned a difficult chapter of her life into a moment of connection and understanding. Her journey continues to inspire viewers who see in her not just a reality TV star, but a real woman navigating life with grace, determination, and unwavering love for her family. As OutDaughtered continues to document the Busby family's evolving story, Danielle's openness stands as one of the most impactful moments in the show's history. It reminded fans that behind every episode is a human story filled with challenges, triumphs, and the courage to keep moving forward no matter how difficult the path may be.